With Marketo's January release, we're rolling out support for the first part of our responsive landing pages feature. The first part of this feature allows support for marketers to build basic mobile views of their existing Marketo landing pages and make sure that content is easy to consume while on the go, more ideal for a smartphone consumption experience. It's a really cool feature, and we have a second part of the project that will be rolled out in a few months. The second part of the project covers more how do you get or leverage landing pages or templates that you've built outside of Marketo. You might have built your own code, bought code, or found something online that you'd like to use that has complex rules built into the template that might use CSS media queries or other types of rules to make your page look better on different size screen devices. We'll have great support for that coming out in a few months. But with the January release, we're just rolling out support for this first part of our project, which basically gives marketers the ability to create these basic mobile views. So in this video, I will walk through a little bit about how you go ahead and build those views in Marketo and some of the nuances and things to keep in mind as you're creating these versions of your pages. So I'm going to go into Marketo here. Right now I'm in the Design Studio of Marketo, and the first thing I want to show off is if you click the Templates tab, you'll see that we've added a mobile compatible column to the landing page templates overview page. This is a great way so you can see which of your templates are what we call mobile compatible. If they are compatible, it means that when you're in the landing page editor of a landing page that uses this template, you will be able to go ahead and create a mobile view for the page. If the template is not compatible, it means that you will have to upgrade this template before being able to take advantage of this new functionality. I'll show a few things here. So if this template here says it's not currently mobile compatible. This means it's an old template before we release this January release. If I click it, I'm going to go into the landing page template editor. So we'll wait for it to load here. And now I'm in the landing page template editor. So here what you'll notice is that I have a button called Make Mobile Compatible available to me, and this is the entry point I will use to upgrade this template. If I click this, you'll get a little dialog that says, hey, you know, this template is not currently optimized for mobile landing pages. Click Upgrade to enable mobile compatibility. I'm not going to upgrade it here, but basically what that does is if I click Upgrade, it's going to automatically insert any of the specific things that we need the page to have for it to be compatible. It's a very simple set of rules. I have them listed here. We'll also have these listed out in the community and help articles after we do the January release. But as part of this video, I want to call them out. The first rule is it must have the HTML5 doc type, must have a head tag, must have a title in the head, UTF-8 character set, body element, and one and only one MKTO content div. So pretty simple. It does not really impact templates a lot, so you're not going to see a lot of difference. If you upgrade a template, it's not going to change the entire look and feel. It's not going to strip any CSS you have in there. It really is just adding these very specific things to your pages. So if I go back to Marketo, we go back to this template. I'm not going to upgrade this one. I'm instead going to exit this view, go to the next tab, close this, go back to my home screen, and I'm going to go to landing pages here, show you that in addition to the column being added to the templates overview, we've also added a column that says mobile enabled to the landing pages overview page. Now this basically tells you for these specific individual landing pages, have I gone ahead and created a mobile version of this page? If it says no, it just means I haven't done that yet. If it says yes, it means, yep, this page has a mobile view activated for it. Now, I've already gone ahead and created a demo landing page for us to use, so I'm going to open that one. This is a landing page I built called Social Media Tactical Plan. I'm going to open it up in the regular Marketo landing page editor. And when you immediately open these pages after the January release, any page actually, you'll see that it looks very, very familiar. None of this is different than what I've seen in the past with Marketo landing pages. The only new thing I see here is a little tab at the top that says Mobile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this button that says Mobile, and it's going to notify me that I can actually activate a mobile version of this page. Now, if this page was not using a landing page template that was mobile compatible, I would have an additional note here near the Activate button that would notify me that by clicking Activate, it would actually, behind the scenes, upgrade and approve my landing page template that this page is using. It will show you kind of how many pages are using that template in case you want to double check. But we do have an entry point here in the landing page editor to also upgrade your template if the template is not currently mobile compatible. Now this template, the page that I'm using is using a template that is compatible, so I can just click Activate to turn on the mobile view of this page. So I'm going to go ahead and click Activate, and what it does is it's creating a mobile version of the same exact landing page, and by default just copying over all of the existing page elements to the mobile view. You'll see on the right hand side I have a little section here that shows me my page elements, and it shows me which are currently visible on each experience. Like I mentioned, by default it's copied over every single element from the desktop experience over to mobile. So my image here, my rich text, my form have all been copied over, and the order that they show up in by default is the order that I drag them into the landing page in. So we don't know by default how to order your mobile view in a way that you'd like. So you actually have the ability to click them and drag them into the order that you think makes the landing page look best. So what you'll notice is a lot of things don't make sense in a mobile view. So on desktop I have a Download Today button that's over a purple box. This doesn't really look good in mobile, so I can hide that. Now there's two ways to hide things. I can either click this checkbox, which will hide this rich text element, or I can actually click the context menu on an element, and I have a button here available to me that says Hide on Mobile. So I'm going to actually hide some of these things that don't look great on mobile because I want to build a great mobile view. One thing is that this element here, if I click this, desktop header text, currently shows that it's visible on both desktop and mobile. Now, if I go ahead and change some of this text, make it more condensed, more optimal for a mobile viewing experience, it's actually going to update that as well on the desktop because it's the same exact page element. So what I actually probably want to do is create a new rich text element. I'm going to go ahead and copy all of this, and then I am going to hide this on mobile. So now I just have my header image and I have my form. I'm going to drag in a new rich text element, and I'm going to create something that's a little bit more specific just to mobile. I probably want to remove some of this stuff that doesn't really make sense in mobile. It's a little bit wordy. Usually in the mobile view of a page, you want it to be pretty straightforward and simple. So I'm going to remove this stuff and make this a little bit easier for people to read on the go. So then we remove that. I'm going to delete this. I will make this header 1. I will make this header 3. And I'm going to bold this. So I'm happy with this now. This is pretty good. I feel like this looks pretty good and will be a little bit better experience for my prospects on mobile. So I'm going to go ahead and save this now. And when I save it, you'll see that this text now shows up on the page. It obviously doesn't look perfect. I think as you use the landing page editor, you'll find ways to build pages that look much better than I can. But for our purposes for now, this is great. So now I have an image, I have a rich text element, and a form on my page. You'll notice that on Forms 2.0 forms, the Submit button automatically aligns to the right-hand side in a mobile viewing experience. That just happens by default. Forms 2.0 forms are automatically responsive, so you'll see that the text box will take advantage of all the real estate that's available to it and make sure that things look good. That all happens automatically, so you don't have to do anything as long as you're using Forms 2.0 forms. Now, a couple other things to mention. There is no rectangle available to me in mobile. The reason for this is it doesn't really make sense. So if I drag in a rectangle here on my desktop view, I can have it and I can have text on top of it. But on mobile, if I had a rectangle, you would not be able to put any text on top of it. It would basically just be a floating box in between elements, and that wouldn't really make any sense or look very good. So we don't allow that. If you actually try to click this checkbox here, it won't let you. It's disabled. So rectangles are still available, but only can be visible on the desktop experience. So I'm going to delete this again. Another thing to call out is things that like the property sheet. So for this image, I can click the property sheet and see a few things about it. Now, right when I click mobile, you'll see that a lot of those attributes have been removed because a lot of them are actually not relevant to me in the mobile experience. So in desktop, I can change things like width. So if I want to change this to 600, I can do that and it will change it. What you'll notice though is that even though I changed it to 600, it actually looks exactly the same in mobile. And that's because I don't have control over sizing and things like that in mobile. We automatically are sizing elements to the width of the phone. Now, another thing you'll notice, so let me change this back here to 900. Another thing you'll notice about the property sheet is that when I navigate to mobile, there's only one template element available to me, and that's the mobile body. I can click that and I can change things like the background color. So if I want that to be green, I can click enter. You'll see that it's changed my mobile body background, but it does not, in fact, change anything on my desktop. So it's independent. I have this special body element available to me to use. And this is kind of a cool little color picker that we've added just to make it a little bit easier to change colors. So that's all good and that makes sense. So I'm a little bit happier with this page now. It looks pretty good. And a thing people ask about images is, well, since we're automatically sizing it to the width of the page, what if I want a smaller image? My answer to that is you would use a rich text element. So if I drag in a rich text element, I can use the picture insert mechanism in the TinyMC rich text editor to actually insert any image I want, and you can use the appearance tools to change the size of it. So I'm not going to do that today, but you can add smaller images that way. Cool. So now I think we're ready to show a few other features before we get to the preview of the page. Under landing page actions, we've added approve and close. That's pretty cool. It's just a thing we've added for ease of use. You can improve your landing page directly from the editor. The other thing I want to mention is this is where you would turn off the mobile view. So if you don't want your landing page to have a mobile view, I can turn it off here. If I click off, it's going to notify me that any mobile-only elements are going to be discarded if I click disable. So you want to make sure you don't want to save any of your progress or anything because your whole mobile view is going to be trashed, and if the elements are not currently visible on desktop, they're going to be gone. I'm not going to disable this because I do want to show it off, but that's something to keep in mind. Another thing is that dynamic content works exactly the same as today. So if I click this and click segment by, I can still use dynamic content in the same way that I'm already familiar with. Cool. Now I think we're ready to check out some of the preview capabilities. So if I click Preview Draft, it's going to open the Marketo landing page previewer. And we've done a few things to the previewer to make this a little bit easier and a little bit better to preview mobile landing pages. So by default, it opens in the desktop viewing experience. You'll see that we've added tabs at the top of the previewer. I'm able to see what this looks like on a mobile device and scroll it. And I'm able to see what it looks like on a side-by-side experience. So I can kind of scroll them independently, see what they look like. One thing to call out is that you cannot interact with any elements in the mobile preview. You can't click submit, I can't click in these text boxes, and that's because we don't know the phone-specific keyboard. We don't know how the phone is going to show a select control. So instead of trying to attempt to guess at how it will look, we just don't allow you to do that. You can, of course, always preview your landing page on your own mobile phone by visiting the URL of your landing page. Great. So that's pretty much the features we have in this landing page feature for January. It's pretty easy to build mobile views, as I showed. I'm pretty excited about rolling this out and getting feedback from everyone. I think people will find it pretty straightforward and intuitive. And hopefully you notice that prospects are engaging better with some of your assets, and that people have just a little bit easier time filling out forms and interacting with your pages when they're visiting them from smartphones. One more thing I should mention is that we haven't changed anything about landing page reporting yet. I do plan to make some improvements in the future for landing page reporting so that you can kind of see whether a prospect is visiting the large screen version of the page or the small screen version. But right now, with this January rollout, we haven't done anything there, so it'll be exactly the same. So with that, I think we're going to wrap up here. So thank you, and enjoy using these features, and look out for more changes in the near future. Thanks a lot.